Welcome to another live edition of Making You, Bartending Pro. My name is Jason. And on this show, talk about bartending. Most of the time, you don't have to. We can talk about whatever you want. Usually we're talking about bartending. Open up a little traditional beer. Cheers, everybody. Good to see you. So we kind of wait for everybody to trickle in here. It takes a second. Test. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Cool. All right. There it is. All right, so now let me pull up. How you guys doing? Hang tight. Wait for everybody to kind of trickle in here a little bit. So, let me actually do this. So what's going on out there? How is it in your world? Anything new? Anything exciting? Get a job? See anything crazy in a bar you want to talk about? Maybe fix the little camera situation here. Bang. There we go. Stream health is good. Okay, cool. Jonesy Wales coming out with more videos soon. Yes, sir. So as I've lamented a few times on these live streams over the last few months, I'd recently moved for a job up in the Northwest, back to Oregon, where I'm from. So I moved up here and I'm in kind of a temporary, it's not temporary, I guess it's a little apartment right now, but it's very little. It's just like a little studio. And I don't really have room to set up my bar in the way I want to. And I'm moving again in like 2 or 3 months. So once I get there, then I'm going to set up the whole studio set again. And then, yes, we'll have some more new traditional, YouTube produced style videos. But we're here, Jonesy. Feel free to shoot off any questions you got, man. That's why I'm here. Thing with these live streams, there's no format, just open Q&A. You ask questions, I answer. Usually we talk about bartending, although we don't have to. I think my man Shake is still down with technical difficulties this week. So I'm just holding it down solo on this live stream. But yeah, Jonesy, probably in a couple of months, I'll have a new round of stuff coming down the pipes for you. Perfect. I used to bartend a bit, and your videos helped a lot getting me started. Right on. Right on, brother. Stoked. Cheers to that. 4 subs with a hammer addiction. What up? Just realized that says -4 subscribers with a hammer addiction. I like that. What's going on with you? 4 subs. What's new in your world? Wait for people to cruise down. Some of these weeks that are funny, there's lots of people right off the bat, and sometimes it takes a while for everybody to trickle in. So nothing new up here. Weather's crazy. I'm living back in Oregon again, and it's can't figure out if it wants to do springtime or summertime or wintertime, because we've had like all 3 of those seasons in the last week. Santiago Padilla. What's up, Jason? Great vids, informative as fuck. Thanks, man. Stoked you're getting value out of them. All I do is make videos about the stuff that I've been doing for a long time in this industry. So tends to help when you're just, shooting an honest from the hip. But yeah. Santiago Padilla. How does a bar manager become a manager, by the way? You're the man. Are you talking about me specifically becoming a bar manager or manager, or are you just talking about in general? The way, once you're like a bar manager, then you are in management position. How does a bartender? Like, how does a bartender become a manager? Or how does a bartender become a bar manager? either way, they're the same. The doesn't matter. It's the same answer for either situation. Yeah. So it's always, and this is the same thing as if you're in a lower level position and you want to become a bartender, or if you're in a lower level position and you want to move up, or if you're a bartender you want to be a bar manager, or you're a manager and you want to be a bartender, or whatever it is. Whichever way you're trying to go from whatever position to whatever position, it always comes down to making sure your intentions are known. So you need to make sure that boss knows that you want to move into whatever position that you want to move into. And then it's a general, just kind of squeaky wheel gets the grease sort of a rule, where you just need to make sure that they know clearly what your intentions are, and then you just gently remind them every so often and let them know that you're doing work here and there. You know, ask questions that would be indicative to what you're, you know, where you would be in that type of position already. You know, like if you wanted to be a bar manager, it's like, so like, you know, how does the inventory process, or if you don't know that stuff, or ordering, who's your favorite reps, you know, just chit chat. Basically just trying to get comfortable with the ownership, wrapping their head around the idea of you being a manager, or the other way around. Like if you're a manager, you want to be a bartender, same thing. So it's building relationships and rapport with the ownership that can make the decision and have the ability to promote you into those types of positions, and then just kind of staying on top of them until they can get you that gig. All right, so it's a lot of just, it's all who you know, and there's not a lot of secret sauce to it. It's once you're in a position, like in any establishment, that's why I say the easiest way to become a bartender is to start in another job and then get promoted. Because most bars will tend to prefer to promote from within, and especially if you're already working there, because then they've already gone through the legwork of, you know, getting you in their system as an employee and paying taxes on it and all that kind of bullshit. So Jones of Wales, is there an easy way to bring more people into your bar other than making connections and telling your friends via social media? I find that telling your friends via social media is a terrible way to get people into the bar, actually, unless you're just like some crazy influencer person, in which case you're probably not going to be a bartender, you're probably going to be an influencer person. So, Jonesy, the best way to bring people in is to create devout locals, which means you get to know as many people as you can. You get to know their name, their drink, their food preference, their story about their family, their friends, what do they do, where do they work. The more you can build legitimate kind of relationships with people, the more they're just going to want to come in. So creating unique experiences, I always say, right? And this is how you create repeat business, because you'll create these relationships with people and they'll literally become your friends, even if it's within just that bar context, which was mostly what my friendships were. It's like, these are some of the people that I knew as well as anybody else, or in some intimate details better than even their significant other or spouse. And so they confide in you and they know you so well, and they become your friends. Like, so they're literally your friends. And so they know your schedule. They know when you're working. Like, yeah, I'm here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday closing. And so they'll come in during those times, or one of those days during that time. And so it's just getting to know people, creating memorable, unique experiences. Mostly that just means giving good service and facilitating a good time for them, whatever reason that may be, whether it's just happy hour and a beer, or they're out on a date, or they're killing time on lunch hour, whatever it is, right? So it's relationship building, Jonesy, is the way to do it. And then other than that, I haven't found a service. It's not a job that, you know, honestly, that job And it kind of pisses me off that a lot of times the ownership will put that on bartenders. They'll be like, well, who can you bring in? How many people can you bring in? You're like, blah, blah, blah. What's your draw? And it's not like it's a musical act. And they basically are putting the job of bringing new customers in the door on us, which is total bullshit. It's the job of the ownership and management, but specifically the ownership of an establishment to get people in the door. It's my job and our job, Jonesy, to make sure that they have a good time and they want to come back. But it's not our job in the first place to get them in there. So if your manager or your owner starts giving you that tropey bullshit, then you're just like, hey, look, man, I've tried a lot of stuff, and the best thing that I can do to help us bring people back is to have good experiences and good service. Give them good service and create good experiences for them here once they're here. And you got to be careful. Obviously, you don't want to say that's your fucking job, asshole owner. But that really that's their job, is to get people in the door. And then once they're in there, it's our job to make sure that they enjoy their time so that they want to come back. And that's how we're the most valuable to an establishment, is if we're able to bring people back. And that's kind of how you build in repeat business for the establishment and for yourself. And that is one of the big keys to unlocking being a successful bartender. It's not how many drinks you know, it's how many relationships you can create with people that will sustain the business and your position, long term. Okay. Taylor Rice, what's up, girl? How do you determine how much alcohol to put in a drink? Say, bullet up, mini ounces versus a vodka soda. You got to talk to your establishment, your owners and managers, Taylor. There is no right answer to that. It depends on how the establishment itself wants to pour. So some places a single pour, meaning like if I buy a drink, one regular drink, what does that mean? Some places that means 2 ounces. Some places that means 1 ounce. Some places it's 1.5 ounces. Sometimes, you gotta, that's an answer. That's a question that your ownership will need to answer that. And if you're not sure and you find yourself in a position where you're working behind a bar and you are supposed to know that, then just ask your coworker who is working with you or the person that's training you. It's like, hey, how do you guys generally pour these? You can kind of play it off like, the situation is like, what do you guys usually pour these at? And that's a totally legitimate question. It's like, how, if it's not on the menu and it doesn't specifically say, it's like, how are we pouring these? Are these, by the numbers, or is this a little bit of a loose hand pour, And like, oh no, it's strict by the numbers. Like, okay, well, show me exactly what that means so that I'm not pouring this wrong. And if it's a little bit of a loose hand, then just kind of watch them when they're doing stuff. Because you're never going to be thrown into that situation without being able to ask somebody first when you're going through training for the first week or so, Taylor. So ask your fellow bartenders and owners. I work alone. And I've asked, and my manager doesn't know. But you tell me how to free pour. Okay, so then, if that's the situation, do you find that this place is strict on their pour count, or is it pretty loose, Taylor? Because I can help you figure this out. I work in hotel management. Sucks. Okay, so that means they're going to be strict. Okay. Yeah, I'm assuming you work in a hotel bar. Is that what you mean? Usually those places are pretty tight on their pour count. So that means somebody orders, okay, cool. So somebody orders a shot, 1 ounce. Somebody orders a regular cocktail of some sort. You're going to make it about 1.5 ounces total cocktail. So if it's like a margarita, you can have 1 ounce tequila, 1/2 ounce of triple sec, just roughly. If it's a vodka soda, put 1.5 ounces. And then if it's a place where you can, you won't really be able to pour it heavy, but martinis, you should be making at least 2 ounces. Pour them 2 ounces and then shake it a little bit so it kind of stretches that. But yeah, if they kind of put you in there, that's a really weird situation, that you would be in there and they're just kind of like, all right, go. And you can't ask anybody how you pour. If you can't ask anybody how to pour and they don't have an answer, then that means you can kind of do whatever you want, really. So anything within 1 to 2 ounces, I deem reasonable, and I therefore give you permission to do it. Now, if you get fired because I told you that. It's not my fault. But just saying, that's what I would go with it. There's got to be other bartenders. You're not the only bartender there, right? Send someone a text message. Write them a love note. It's like, yo, hey, how you pouring all this stuff? I want to make sure I'm doing this right. So reach out to the people around you. Yeah, that's weird. I'd agree, Jonesy. I don't know why they would just throw you in there and not have anything to tell you. It seems strange. Yeah, it's another guy, but he's new and didn't get trained either. So it sounds like you guys are at a pretty mellow spot. So I don't know. Find a classic cocktail book and look up the recipes that you guys are making, and just go from there. Kind of just, you know, or watch some of my videos and go off of that. Right? Give you a good basis. Just a heads up, most of my stuff tends to be poured a little heavy because I make it how the people like it. That's right. Santiago Padilla, I may be looking to move establishments though because business is real slow now. Yeah, once you get a bartending job, it doesn't mean you're like there forever. If it's not a place that you're super stoked about, fine, stand on it, work. You're getting experience. Doesn't mean you can't continue to look for jobs over here on the side. So definitely keep moving up the chain if you're not happy where you're at. You're welcome, Jonesy, of course. Cultured Keys, what's up? It's been a while. Remembered it was Tuesday when you go live. Good to see you. Still giving out free game. Much respect. Still have the urge to start bartending, but most places want someone with experience, which I have none. I haven't gone to the school route, etc., because I remember you saying not to because you don't really need it. Yeah, Cultured Keys, the trick. The thing with school that I always say is it's okay if you're if it's comfortable for you to pay that amount to basically just get practice. Because what you're doing is paying for practice. That's kind of what it's sort of like. And that's really about it. The school is not going to look like experience on your resume. It's not going to help get you a job. Although I know some places have supposed connections and have helped get people jobs in the past. Generally, most schools do not do that. And the reason is because that most bars don't need to be in touch with schools because they have people that just come in all the time. So the best thing you can do, Culture Keys, is to, you know, create that big list. Go watch some of my playlists here. Let me see. Let me grab this one right here. The How to Become a Working Bartender. This one right here. And start with these first 4 that are in this playlist and go through them in sequence. And so there you go, Cultured. And I tell you to create a circle around your house that's about 20, 30 establishments long. And you can go out there and start dropping resumes, even if you don't have a whole lot to put on your resume. Now watch that second or third video in that. I think it's the second video. No, the third resume, the third video. So watch all 4 of them. Don't skip any of them. Watch all 4 of those. Very important. They build upon each other and will give you a really good roadmap to get started. That's basically what I made that one for, Cultured. Create a list of 20 or 30 places, go drop a bunch of resumes, and then follow up with them continuously until you can get to your number 3 or 4 follow-up, which means the first one you follow up in a week, second one you follow up in another week, the third one you follow up in 2 weeks, and then your 4th one you follow up in another 2 or 3 weeks. So within 2 months, you should have been able to hit 20 or 30 places 4 times, and you'll at least get someone's attention enough to potentially offer you a job in another position, which is the best way to get started in this industry, is to start in other positions, which isn't quite as fun, might not be as sexy, but it will definitely get your foot in the door, and that's, you know, you're real close. The best thing you could do, not bartending, is to be a bar back, because you're actually in the bar. But starting in other positions, it helps you learn other positions in the industry. It helps you learn about the industry in general. Maybe you learn that you actually don't want to do this shit, because it looks way more glamorous than it is, trust me. And you might just start working like, you know what, fuck this, I'm out of here. So I've worked besides a bartender, bar manager, I've worked as a bar back, a busboy, a dishwasher, a food prep, a host, and a server. All of those very short time. But they all were beneficial because they helped me understand different elements of the service industry because they all work together. And so the more you can be knowledgeable and experienced in any of those positions, it'll make you more valuable to the company in general. And then they'll tend to keep you around, and then you can move up, right? Be the squeaky wheel. Tell them you want to be a bartender, let them know, remind them all the time. Taylor Rice, I work alone. Oh yeah, we got these ones. La Meridian, or La Meridian, am I saying that right? Just always feel like if it's something on the rocks, I do an ounce, it looks like nothing. Yeah, if it's something on the rocks, try to pour it closer to 2 ounces, ounce and a half, 2. And if they're not having you make everything with jiggers and they didn't tell you, then I don't know what they expect. Yeah, well, there's another guy he's new to. Oh, yeah, okay, so we were owned by SPG and then went to Marriott in the 2 years I've been there, and we've been through 4 GMs. Okay, so big red flag. You've been there for a while. You've got some experience. Here's what I'm going to tell you to do, Taylor. It's time for you to go knock on some doors and try to find a gig at a better spot. And because it sounds like this place has got a lot of turnover and it's very absentee management. So you're going to have a hard time getting to, I don't know, unless you love it there, then hey, stay there. But so here you go. I Spy Magic. How do I pour the perfect draft beer? I always get too much head. Depends on your taps and the beer that you're pouring, but generally you're pouring it down the side of the glass. A little bit of burp on the front, so like sometimes you just a little tiny foam spill before you put it under the glass, under the flow of the beer. Pour it up the side of the glass, not touching it, keep it away, and then just kind of spill a little bit off the top. Or if they're super anal and you can't spill any off the top, then you got to stop and let it sit there. In which case, it's more important to kind of give that little foam burp starting to pour it. But that's a little bit of a nuance of the taps of the establishment that you're working. They all work the same, but some of them are a little fidgety is not the right word. Finicky. There you go. All right, so just talk to your fellow bartenders and they'll show you how to do it. Unless you're like Taylor and you're the only one that works there. And then you got to just figure it out on your own. Yeah, Santiago does 2 ounce pours. Been doing 1.5 to 2. Yeah, sounds about right, Taylor. I say go with that. I would just go with whatever tastes best and the customers like. I feel like single 1.5 is a safe bet. Yep. So there you go, Taylor. We're all in agreement. 1.5 to 2 is a good call. We charge $12 for a Tito's shot, so I go with 2 ounces. Damn! Yeah, that is expensive. Yeah, I was a barista, and then now I'm a server. It made me a bartender. Sweet, so you're moving up the chain. Good job. Culture Keys, you are welcome in school to be an RN. Nice. Good job, Taylor. Work your way through school. That's what I did. Trying to get as much done you can without trying to take out student loans because that shit is scary. Yeah. All right. Cheers, everyone. I Spy says, why does Kraken taste like shit? Like Kraken, the rum, the dark rum, is that what you're talking about? Kraken, whatever. There was a bar in my town that was spelled like that. I know it should be probably Kraken, but they called it Kraken. So anyway, I don't know. I'm not a rum connoisseur. So I know people that drink that would disagree to a certain extent, but like I said, I'm not a rum expert. So I wouldn't be able to rebuttal that claim, sir, or ma'am, whatever I Spy Magic you may be. But I would say that if it tastes like shit to you, then the simple answer is just don't drink it. Yeah. So Taylor says, but your channel has helped me so much, so thank you, appreciate it. You are very welcome, Taylor. Stoked you're getting value out of it. Yeah, New York City, 12 bucks is about right for like a Tito's. Woo, gnarly. Went to a little bar a couple nights ago. Charged me $8 for a drink. Was shocked. Usually it's 14, 18. Oh man. I was drinking Long Island's for $2.22 tonight. What? Damn, that's insane. That is a Long Island if I've ever heard one. But hey, $2.22. It's hard to beat that. Where are you at, Taylor? What part of the world are you in? What country? What state? Where are you? That's a hell of a deal. People are gonna come fly over to your town party. You can go out and get smashed for $5. Jonesy Wells, what's a good tequila for margaritas? So, my preference on tequila is above the well, right? Because too many cheap well tequilas are made with like added flavors, added colors, and they're just really terrible. So go up from the well, so give it at least a call brand level. One of my personal favorites is Sauza Hornitos, which is, they actually have a whole line called Hornitos now, but Hornitos used to be originally just their Reposado. And so Reposado I like for margaritas, either a silver or a Reposado. Just because I think personally, because I like margaritas, that's actually one of my favorite cocktails, that an añejo or an overly aged tequila, that woody, oaky, aged flavor comes through too much. And I find Reposados just blend in to the cocktail a lot better. Doesn't mean that you can't taste it. It's just that, like, we had this, Herradura makes a double aged Reposado where they take their Reposado and then they age it again a second time in brand new whiskey barrels. And that's probably my favorite tequila to drink just on its own, straight. But if you put it in a margarita, that like whiskey barrel flavor comes through the margarita and it just is kind of odd. Which I know that not all añejos or extra añejos are have that same woody characteristic, but I just tend to like something that's a little more, smooth in the cocktail. So I like a Reposado. So I would say, Jonesy, a decent Reposado of your choice would be a good tequila for a margarita. I Spy, when should a drink be shaken rather than stirred? Unless there's like protocol for the drink itself at the place that you're working, then it comes down to like the customer's preference. And if you don't have parameters on either of those, like if your establishment doesn't have a protocol and your customer doesn't care, sorry, I'm jumping around here, this thing. All right, so where are we? Good tequila, shaken, not stirred. All right, okay, so if your establishment doesn't have protocol for the drink itself, or you don't know, you ask the customer. If the customer doesn't care and you don't know, then flip a coin. Right, and there's craft people that will get into minutia about like to what extent the drink should or should not be bruised, and that's just a little bit of semantics in my opinion. If you're in an establishment where it really matters, or they'll have a protocol for that drink. If your customer really has a preference, they'll let you know. And then other than that, it doesn't really matter, in my opinion. So there you go. What's a great night? $2 for a Long Island iced tea. Yeah, for sure. Taylor's in Chicago Burbs, everybody. If you want to go get a $2.22 Long Island iced tea, go down to the Chicago suburbs, and you can find it in a bowling alley called Bolero. $2.22 Tuesday, $2 tacos, tall boys, and Long Islands. Damn! Got it going on down there tonight, huh, T? T's in the mix with $2.22 Long Islands, $2 tacos, and tall boys. Pretty epic. I like it. Hot tech reviews. I'm trying to get a few starter liquors to get my kitchen set up. What do you suggest? I'd say a good basic selection So Ice by Magic's got some like Johnny D, Black Walker, Black Label, Grey Goose, Cap Morgan White Rum. It depends on Hot Tech Reviews, the types of drinks that you want to make or drink on a regular basis. So start with, what are your favorites? Are you a whiskey drinker? Are you a tequila drinker? Are you a vodka or rum drinker? Start there. Fill in your preferences first. Then think about your friends that are going to be coming over, right? So your friends that come over, what do they drink usually? Are they rum drinkers, tequila drinkers, vodka drinkers? Then go there and kind of fill that one in. And then after that, you can think, okay, well, I want to have some cool shit just because I want to be able to make like some coffee cocktails or shooters or something, or whatever you may want to do. Whatever you want to fill in for your ability to be able to do that, then you can kind of fill in the rest of it from there. But there's literally thousands and thousands of cocktail or liquors out there. So alcohols, a couple hundred main ones. So you kind of got to just pick what you want to do. I mean, you can have a main vodka, gin, rum, tequila, you know, whiskey or bourbon, and like a couple of liqueurs, like fruity liqueurs or something. Bailey's, Kahlua, any scotch or whiskeys, or who knows. So there you go. That's what I would say. Start with your own preferences, your friends' preferences, and then the people that you think you're going to be making drinks for the most preferences. Because if all your friends are whiskey and tequila drinkers, there's going to be no point to have a bunch of vodka and gin on the wall. Should you have one or two just to round out your selection? Sure. But start with the stuff that you and your friends are going to drink most, for sure. Truth Seeker, what's up? Culture's Keys. Thanks you guys for everybody that's asking questions, by the way. Hang tight. I will get to all of them, by the way. So hang tight. Sit back, grab a beer or whatever beverage of your choice. Cheers. What's your favorite go-to drink to drink from you personally? Culture Keys. I used to drink a lot of tequila. I love tequila. It's like my favorite like liquor if I'm gonna drink straight liquor, tequila or bourbon. And so therefore my cocktails revolve around that, like a good fresh margarita, meaning not with any mix, all fresh lime, lemon, orange juices, whatever, and the old fashioned for the bourbon. Those are my go-tos for cocktails. Also like coffee cocktails. So like if it's a kind of a midday afternoon thing or early après and I need a little pick-me-up, but I want a little bit of something in it, you know, a couple coffee cocktails, which is usually just like Kahlua, Bailey's, Frangelico. Kind of like my trifecta that I like in coffees. But really, honestly, most of the time I just drink beer, light lagers and pilsners, because the heavy stuff I don't really drink that much. And so when I drink heavy hard alcohol, it just kicks me in the back of the head. I don't have much of a tolerance at all. So I usually just stick to like really light lagers, pilsners, like Modelo's and Stellas and, you know, shit like that. What's your go-to margarita? What do you throw in there? Thanks for answering all my questions, Jonesy Wales. No worries, man. That's why I'm here. My personal favorite margarita mix, right? And this is one that's won me awards in local competitions down in San Diego, is to make a fresh squeezed juice base. So what I do is I tend to make, just because if I'm going to go through the hassle of making it, well, if you're going to make it single one, you just squeeze a whole lime, half a lemon, and then like a quarter or a half of an orange, and squeeze all those juices into the glass over ice, a ounce and a half of your personal tequila of choice, which mine usually is like a Sauza Hornitos or a decent Reposado. I like no orange liqueur. If you like Grand Marnier, that would be a good choice. Cointreau would be a good choice if you do want an orange liqueur. And then if you want a little more flavor, you can actually add a tiny bit of Chambord in there, which is delicious. Just to give it a little pucker of kind of hint of sweetness in there. And then shake it with the ice, and then, you know, drink it with the ice like that. So just kind of shake it and pour it back in. Don't strain it or anything. No salt, although I will enjoy a tahine rim, which is like basically a chili lime kind of rim that you can buy at most, Latin food markets, called tahine, Tajin, I think, Tajin, tahine. Spicy margaritas are also good as well. So you can just literally buy whole raw jalapenos and cut them in little 1/8-inch slice ringlets and put those in there and kind of muddle some of that. You can also muddle cilantro and cucumber in those. All three of those all together are actually really good. And this is all within that citrus juice base. If I make that juice base in bulk, which I tend to do because if I'm making that, it's for like barbecue or something. You start with 12 limes. This is easiest if you have like a juicer, like an actual juicer machine instead of having to do it by hand. 12 limes, and then I'll go in half. So 6 lemons, and then half again, 3 oranges. So I got lime, lemon, orange juice, and then, the rest of those ratios. So once I have that juice mixed, I will double the amount with water. So if I had half a gallon of juice, I'll add half a gallon of water. And then if you want a little bit of sweetness, like I said, you can do the Chambord. Although the other thing that you can do, especially if you're making it in bulk, is to add a little bit of agave. And that's just because it's a low glycemic. It won't spike your blood sugar. I know it's not the best thing in the world, but it's not as bad as some other sweetening agents. And you just add a little bit, mix it up, taste it. Add a little bit, just add it to taste. Don't go dumping a bunch in there because you'll ruin the whole thing. So there you go. That's my kind of from scratch margarita recipe. And the one with Chambord is the one that is the recipe that won an award for me once upon a time, many moons ago. So there you go, Jonesy. Try that one out. It's fucking delicious. You'll like it. Truth Seeker. Anything go to is repeatable. Pinnacle whipped with OJ and a touch of whatever your mood determined. Whipped cream, cherry. I don't know what you're talking about, Truth Seeker. Is that your margarita recipe? I'm not sure. I've done whipped cream in a margie, but it could be delicious. I spy at my bar. It's 1.5 ounces of gold tequila, 1/2 ounce triple sec, 1/2 ounce lime juice, fill with marg mix. That's a good one. That's an easy one to make in a bar. Mine are like that recipe. That's for like me personally. I'm not usually making that one in the bar. If I'm making them all, we had a skinny margarita mix, which was a lime juice base, a little bit of agave, and a little bit of water to just kind of cut the tartness. And we'd use mostly that, and then, but roughly the same 1.5 ounces tequila, 1/2 ounce triple sec, or whatever, the orange liqueur, depending on which margarita we're making. Spicy ones are good, though. Try it, like, muddle 1 or 2 of those little jalapeno ringlets in there. That is delicious, for sure. Welcome, Jonesy. Culture Keys. By the way, 20 minutes. Might give a little bit of an early last call this evening because it's raining like cats and dogs out there. So I want to get a hot start on heading home this evening. So I'll give you guys the first round of last call for questions. So if you're hanging out watching and you got a question, now's your chance to throw it out there. Following all the social media stuff at Bartending Pro, the usual stuff. Turn Snocko's in the house. What up, bruh? I see you sneaking in down there. Culture Keys. Have you ever tried aguardiente? Colombian drink. It doesn't give you hangovers and it's super smooth. I have not, but I'd give it a shot, especially if it's made tequila. I heard of it. There's a nasty ass Gen X in our water here. There's nasty ass Gen X in our water here in Wilmington. So I used to use a gallon of spring water in front of the customer. Gen X in the water? I don't know if I understand that one. That one's going right over my head. Cultured keys. That's cool. Right on. Yeah, if you have sketchy water, then you should definitely... And, by the way, if you're anywhere where they have sketchy water, then you want to make sure that you are not having them make it with that said sketchy water. Hence, usually when I'm down deep in Mexico on surf trips, I'm just drinking cans and bottles, beers, not doing anything with ice. Chemicals that look like motor oil in our tap. That's some sketchy shit right there, truth seeker. Where the hell do you live? Wilmington. My geography is failing me. Wilmington, North Carolina? Where is that? Genetics in the water is better than fluoride and heavy metals. Oh man. Awake human. I agree with that call. Fluoride and heavy metals is bad stuff. Bad stuff. Tools over and sweating at your boys. Cool. Yeah. Well then, anybody else? Speak now or forever hold your questions until next week. Remember, we do these every Tuesday, 7 p.m. West Coast United States time. And we'll run roughly an hour, 45 minutes or an hour, just depending on how many people are showing up and asking questions. This is a good time if you are thinking about getting a job to get out there, start pounding the pavement, knocking on doors, especially if you live in North America, where they have any sort of seasonal bulge for, you know, summertime, tourist season, anything like that. Those types of places are all hiring right now. A lot of places are hiring for the summertime busy season. So now is the time. Even if you don't think you're ready, get out there and go knock on doors and make sure that you're meeting and shaking hands with the people that can give you an opportunity. Turn Snacko, what's up? Water sounds like cereal when there's a toy prize in the box. Oh, man. So get out there, pound the pavement, guys. That's the best thing you can do to get a job, is to just be knocking on doors, following up. Be diligent, because it doesn't happen. 65% of people don't follow up after the first time. It jumps to like 92% of people don't follow up after the second time. And you're only in the top 5% if you follow up, I think, the third time. So you really stand out. It shows that you are dedicated and committed, and that is something that's actually, unfortunately, pretty rare in this industry. Okay. Dilute it with tequila. Absolutely. Says a weak human. Culture Keys. Saw a video of a lady testing waters on YouTube. Smart water came out super yellow. Stick to essential water if you can. Yeah. Bottled water. You never know. Nothing's perfect. Just got to try to do your best to. And hopefully your tap water is not so sketchy that you can't just like buy a Brita filter. But if it is, then yeah, you got to go with like the bottled route. Try to buy a big 5-gallon bottle so you're not burning through plastic bottles at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Matthew Swin, how do you protect your ears during the job? You mean like from the sound, Matthew? Like if you're working in a club that's loud as fuck, or if you like work in a place that has live music, which I did both. And I literally will just take I would wad up little balls of napkin, and I would just stick them in my ear. And you can still hear people fine, you know, because you still got to kind of lean in and give them this one when they're ordering from you. But yeah, I just to cut the, you know, the decibels of deafening loudness, I literally would just take little napkins, you know, wad it up, stuff it in there, and try it out. Don't make it too small and shove it too deep because it'll get stuck in there. But yeah, I've seen a few bartenders do that. If that's not good enough, you could actually get earplugs, just straight up earplugs. Your boss might not like that look, so you might want to shy away from that one. You could get silicone earplugs at most, like drugstore, like, you know, Walgreens type places. And those are clear, they're not quite as visible, and you can kind of stick those in there a little bit, and they cut the sound pretty good. So that's what I do, Matt. That's what I've done in the past for sure. Turn, what's up, brother? Good to see you, man. Yeah, North Carolina. Bam! Nailed it. Fucking A. Wilmington, North Carolina. In the house. I'm just glad my geography's stuck in there after all these years. Nigel Wilson, hey, what's going on here? We're doing a live stream. So I do these every Tuesday, Nija. Am I saying that right? Nija, as you'll find, I like to butcher names too, so I apologize if I'm getting that wrong. Or is it Najai? Is it Najai? Nija? I'm gonna call you Nija. I just do these live streams every Tuesday because right now, as I'm in between kind of permanent home situations, I took a job up here back in Oregon and back in the Northwest. So I'm no longer in San Diego, and I'm in just a very small little temporary studio for a few months. And then I'm moving into a place when my wife hopefully moves up here very soon. And we'll be getting a proper home, in which case I will rebuild my studio bar set. And then I will be coming out with a bunch of new, like, traditionally shot and edited whiz-bang effect. Not whiz-bang effect, I don't do whiz-bang effects. But, you know, just cool shot and edited style videos. But in the meantime, I'm doing these live streams because it's a way for me to just kind of keep in touch with you guys and let YouTube know that I don't want this channel to die, because their algorithm, if you're not constantly putting stuff into it, it'll kind of sandbox you so that you go bye-bye. So anyway, that's what we're doing here, Naja. Every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. West Coast United States time. That's 7, 8, 9, 10 every Tuesday of Pacific, Mountain, Central, Eastern times. And it's just open format Q&A. So if you got any questions, you throw them out and then I answer them for you. What you sipping on? Grizz K wants to know. Bridgeport Brewing Mosaic Hopped Cream Ale. I don't know how I feel about it, but got it. That's how we do it. You grab whatever's in the fridge and suck it down when you're having beers with your friends on a live edition of Making You a Bartending Pro. Culture Keys, thanks again for answering all the questions, man. Appreciate it. We'll try to check back in soon. Let you know the progress. Careful with the rain. Cheers, man. Cultured. Appreciate it. Definitely come back in. Let me know how it's going. I always love to hear updates about you guys and how you're doing out there, kicking ass and taking names. Holy smokes, there's a slew of questions that are flying in here. So hang tight. If you ask a question, I will get to it. Awake Human, you are very welcome. Thank you for your time and effort in helping out with the advice. Leo Garcia, what's up? Truth Seeker, I've been spending the extra money on the pH balance stuff. Yeah, that's the most important part is the pH. At least throw a lemon in your bottled water to alkalize. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I don't know if it's the alkalinity of it, but definitely lemon water helps your body absorb it faster, so you hydrate quicker. I do know that that's a real thing. I'll have more questions next week. Come on back, Taylor. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in and asking good questions. Appreciate it. Good luck out there. Truth Seeker. Carbon-based filters like Brita do not remove fluoride. Yeah, fluoride makes you stupid words otherwise. No, definitely. I don't think there's anything that can filter fluoride, if I remember correctly. I'm all paranoid about that shit. I check, because you can look up the municipalities that fluoridate the water. My dad is actually a dentist. He's kind of an old school guy, and he is for fluoride in a soaking nature. So it means you take the fluoride and you soak it on your teeth, and then you spit it out. In that context, fluoride actually does help close the pores and make your teeth stronger. However, If you ingest the fluoride into your body, then it's a really gnarly neurotoxin. So you gotta be careful there. Don't consume anything where it's like fluoridated water. I don't use any fluoride toothpaste, any of that kind of shit. So, but yeah, there it is. Word to the wise. Taylor Rice. I have a party of 80 by myself Friday and 50 Sunday. Wish me luck. Good luck, girl. You can do it. Kick some ass. Take some names. Drink a lot of coffee. No, maybe not. That'll just make you all jittery. Do some meditation or yoga before, so you're all zenned out. Like, I got this. I got this. Culture Keys. What do you use for a filter then? Scaring me, man. Brought a bit of yeah. I don't know if you can filter fluoride. I don't think there's, unless you have like a crazy reverse osmosis, or maybe it's, I don't even know, man. What are those? Not carbon, yeah, maybe it's the reverse osmosis ones that can clear that shit out of there. I don't know, I forget. Ask Truth Seeker. It sounds like they know. Taylor, I'm coming to intern to help you out. Nice. Culture Keys is gonna go help you out, Taylor. That Wake Human has got the plan, brother. Taylor last week had a party of 40, made $800 with hourly and tips. Good job, girl. Now I know why you stay at that job. See, that is the cool thing about working at hotels, is they have a lot of those kind of banquet gigs where you can make some good fucking money just like that. So now I see why you're there. Very good. Grizz K, have you taught yourself filming and editing? Yep, 100% self-taught. As you can tell by all my really early videos are terrible. Video, sound, audio quality. The editing is what it is. I mean, it's a talking head video, so there's not a whole lot to do in the editing. I try to get creative with the editing in some circumstances, as you've seen in some of the videos, but generally it's just kind of a talking head type channel where I'm just disseminating information about the bartending world. So I'd love to be like a full-time YouTuber where I just go around and make cool videos all day long, and I can go out and get cool B-roll and shit, but unfortunately it's just kind of a side gig. This is my way to give back to you guys, so I just do it on the side as a labor of love, meaning I don't have the time that the guys that are full-time YouTubers do to or a huge crew working with me. I do this all by myself. But yes, Grizz K, taught myself filming and editing. And basically just maxed out, like I started on iMovie and grew out of that real quick. And now I've just learned Final Cut Pro, just because it's basically anything now, as that anybody will tell you, it's just basically like iMovie on steroids. I don't use Premiere. Premiere is like more of a like real legit movie maker platform. And although Final Cut with all of its plugins can do all the same stuff, I just don't want to learn a whole new platform for something that's just kind of a side fun gig that I do for you guys. Yes, live streams make YouTube beautiful. Oh, awesome. Thank you, Truth Seeker. I see what you're saying. I don't know a single bartender that wants to bartend, that went to bartending school. Everyone taught themselves off YouTube or working their way up. Yep. Most of the people that I worked with over the years, the dozens and dozens and dozens of bartenders, there was only one that I worked with that went to a school. And even then, that didn't really help get him a job. It was because he knew the owner, because that's why he got the job. So, yeah, bartending school is paying for practice that's kind of like the real thing. It's not going to look like experience on your resume. It's not going to, they're not going to necessarily be able to get you a job. So if you have plenty of funds to be able to just pay for sort of practice, then it's cool. And, you know, you'll get some knowledge out of it for sure. But they just tend to harp on, you need to learn all these drinks, which I have a hard time, because depending on the place where you work at, especially when you're a brand new bartender, the basic bartending that the bartending that you're going to be doing is very basic. And you're going to make a range of like 10 to 15 drinks on a regular basis. And you won't know what those 10 to 15 drinks are until you get to your particular establishment and you start to encounter the regulars that you get on a consistent basis. So That's why I don't ever recommend people just start memorizing hundreds of drinks and rote memorization of them. You're better off spending that effort and time and money on people skills and public speaking, because that's what's going to create comfort level in front of people that's going to attract them to you and want to come back and hang out with you again in the future, which is going to make you an asset to your company that you're working for. It'll make you better tips, and it'll allow you to kind of start to write your own ticket of when and where you work. Good night, guys. Glad I found this. Thanks, Taylor. Good luck. Kick some ass, girl. Let us know how it goes. Truth Seeker, just write seat numbers and have fun. Yeah, there you go. But yes, you can get fluoride removers at about $1.50. No, that's not bad. I haven't gone that far on my paranoia yet, though. Yeah, I guess it depends on where you live. I haven't lived in places where they put fluoride water. And if you really want to put the tin hat on, it's an interesting practice to look at where water is fluoridated, and it tends to coincide to the places that aren't, or at least the places that are not fluoridated tend to be some of the more wealthy areas of the country. So it's like, the people that are making the call on where to put the fluoride don't put it in their own water. But that's a very deep rabbit hole tin hat conspiracy theory, if I've ever heard one. So, Truth Seeker, making clear ice that is fluoride free for your bar by freezing is a great idea for anyone though. Just get yourself a cooler, throw it in the freezer for 24 hours. Nice little plug there at the end, Truth Seeker. Right on. Thanks for coming by. Take care, brother. And we'll call it up. Last call here. Real last call for alcohol, y'all. We'll be closing up shop in a few minutes. So if you got a question, throw it out now, or we will save it until next week. Remember to follow on all the social media stuff at Bartending Pro. Predominantly, the platforms that I use are YouTube and Instagram. But now that I do kind of social media and digital media for my job full time, I really don't do it very often for my other stuff like this or for my own personal shit like they say we should. But, you know, hey, when it's your job, you tend to just like, burn out doing this stuff too much. Anyway, get off my soapbox about that. James Henderson started bartending. I just started as a bartender. Channel encouraged me a lot. Been having a hard time remembering where all the alcohols are, and I'm a little overwhelmed by all the recipes. I can't talk right now. Wow. Any tips? Thanks. It's just routine, James. It'll just take a little bit of repetition. It feels uncomfortable right now, but you'll get it. Take the menus home for the recipes that you're making on your menu and just read them or practice them or stick them on the wall or whatever it is. Whatever it'll take to kind of just get them ingrained in your brain. You'll find, unless, I don't know where you work, but generally you'll start to find there's kind of a consistent theme and a general trend or a general range of drinks that you'll make at any particular bar, and it's different from one bar to the next, but you'll start to feel that most, we got a bunch of people that drink this and a bunch of people that drink that, but we don't have a lot of people that drink this over here. So maybe you make a lot of martinis and old fashions and margaritas, but you don't make any tropical drinks. Or maybe the other way around. Maybe you work in a place where you make a ton of tropical drinks, but you never make a martini or, any old school drinks or anything like that. So, I work at a restaurant in South Carolina called Applebee's. So it's bar and grill. So Applebee's, those are pretty straightforward, slight tweaks on classic cocktails. Take their menu, just learn their menu, because most of the people that are going to come into Applebee's, from my limited experience, I wish Shake was here. I think that's where Shake works, is Applebee's in Colorado. No, maybe it's Red Lobster. I know he works in one of those corporate joints. And just kind of learn the drinks that are on your menu. And then don't worry too much about anything else, because you're not going to have a whole lot of crazy craft or classic cocktail connoisseurs. I mean, maybe every once in a while. But remember, don't be afraid to just ask people. It's like, oh, you know what? I forget what's in that. How do you make that one again? Or what's in that? Or if you've never heard of it, it's like, oh, I've never heard of that. What's in that? I ask people all the time. Don't be afraid. They don't care. All they want is their booze, right? They don't care if you don't know it or not. I mean, they'll care if you can't figure it out, but as long as you can get it to them, then in a decent amount of time, then it's all good. So yeah, just focus on your menu, James, and pay attention to the style of drinks that you're finding coming through. At a place like that, it's almost always going to be ordered off your menu. So learning your menu is probably, I would say, 3/4 of your drinks, if not more. So start there. Work on that one. Okay, we're going to cut it there. Thank you, James, for those good questions. And thank you guys all for coming in and hanging out for another live edition of Making You Bartending Pro. My name is Jason. Remember to do these every Tuesday, 7, 8, 9, 10 p.m. West Coast, Mountain Central, East Coast time. And yes, I will be moving into my permanent home in a few months, in which case I will rebuild my bar, and I'll have a bunch of new cool videos for you guys shortly thereafter. But in the meantime, come by these Tuesdays, ask me anything you want. And in the meantime, between then, get out there, knock on the door, follow up, pound the pavement, get to know the people that can give you a job and give you a chance, because that's where your best opportunities are going to lie. And now is the time to go, because everybody's hiring for the summer high season, especially if you're in North America or you're anywhere where there's like a summer tourist season. Then everybody's hiring now. So go knock on doors. Even if you think you're not ready, go do it, because there's no better time than the present for getting into the service industry. All right, guys, thanks for coming in. That's it for this week. I'll see you next week. Have a good time. Get out there, kick some ass, get a job. I want to hear about it. And